Today I'm checking out this set of jumper cables that was sent to me to review. These are 0 gauge jumper cables and 20-foot long. So these are not your cheap set of jumper cables. These are really long jumper cables that are useful in almost all situations because they are high gauge, 0 gauge, it's very thick wires, and 20 feet long. I mean, that will reach around my truck. I can easily get the things cranking tractors, cranking other cars. But let's go ahead and get these things out of the package, let you take a look at them, and we're gonna try them out. All right, so you've already seen the case they come in. It's great to be able to store your jumper cables in a case so that they're not all tangled up. It does come with a pair of gloves because, a lot of times you are dealing with dirty areas of your vehicle or even greasy areas, opening the hood, getting in there. So got a pair of gloves here to keep your hands clean if you need those. And then you've got the cables. Now, these are massive cables. Look at that. Look how thick these cables are. And really good alligator clips here. I mean, that takes some pressure to pull those back. You want alligator clips that are going to clamp down nice and tight and not just kind of fumble around on a battery. So that way you get a really good connection, get the most amps through this wire that you can to get the other vehicle cranked. Really good set of alligator clips. You've got your black, you got your red. You got your instructions on a little tab here that's hanging off. Another cool thing is they put the connection order on here. Now, there's all kinds of philosophies on how you should connect the wires, but this one comes with, first one to connect. And then second, or this one says second to connect. I think this one over here says fourth. So it really can guide you through, if you've never even used a set of jumper cables, what you should connect and where. So that's actually pretty cool too. But for me, I like the fact that it's got really good sturdy alligator clips. This is something on jumper cables for me that becomes a problem. They wear out and they don't hold really well. Then I used to have to cut the ends off and put something else on. These look really nice, like they're gonna last for a while. I also like the fact that these are really nice thick wires. So a lot of the tractors I have at my property are older. I've got some big diesel engines out there. And to get those engines cranking, they use a lot of amps pumping into them. So even if it's got a good battery in it, some of the tractors I have actually need cables connected to the battery to give it more power to get them started, because one battery is just not good enough. But anyways, let's go ahead and get these hooked up to the truck and show you how these things work on a truck to a vehicle connection. So I have a heavy duty diesel truck. It's got 2 batteries in it and a high amperage alternator. So it's got a lot of cranking power. So if I need to get that power to another vehicle, I really need to have a beefy set of jumper cables to get that power pushed through. Your typical set of jumper cables, they're, cheapy, small lines. You really would have to park close like this just to be able to get the other vehicle jumped off, because a lot of times those jumper cables, 10 feet, maybe 12 feet, they're not very long. So you have to get really close battery to battery to do a jump. These 20-foot jumper cables, I mean, you could pretty much have an entire car length in between and still be able to get to the vehicle and crank it. So length is a very big deal, and that really thick wire will allow the ampage to get through properly to the other vehicle to get it cranked. So if you want to know how long 20 foot is, this would easily be able to reach the battery of my truck. We could get all the way to the back of this vehicle here. Even if the car was turned around the opposite direction, we would probably still be able to get it jumped over. And here's the little helper tag. So if you followed the helper tags, this one says bad battery. First thing you do is put it on the positive terminal of the bad battery. So we'd come to the vehicle here. We keep that negative wire away from it. We would clamp down really well on the positive terminal. Then this says fourth, put on the dead battery's negative. So I'm gonna leave the negative sitting here in a place that it won't short out. And I'm gonna go hook up the other vehicle. So second is to hook up the positive terminal on the good battery. So now I've got the positive terminal on my good battery here. Third is the negative terminal on the good battery. Nice big alligator clips lets you get a really good connection on it. So I've got both sides here hooked up. Now let's go hook up number 4. So number 4 here is to hook up the negative on the bad battery. And one of the reasons you follow these steps is it helps reduce accidentally shorting positive and negative from the good battery, the bad battery. It also reduces the chance of having an accident from a bad battery or anything sparking, having any kind of problems. So now time to crank it up. A couple notes here when you're cranking a car with a bad battery or a dead battery is based upon how much power you're going to need. If your battery's just a little weak, you may not need the main vehicle with the good battery running, but to get the most amount of power out of the good vehicle, you would want the engine running so the alternator is also producing power. That way the donor vehicle, the vehicle that's giving you the power, will have the maximum amount of power available to give to you. So keep that in mind when you're jumping off a vehicle. It's good to have the good battery vehicle, the donor vehicle, to have its engine running and maybe even the RPMs up a little bit. But you would just get in your vehicle, turn the key. Man, that cranked with no problem. So that's it. Then you would leave your vehicle running while you disconnect the battery. If your vehicle dies right away when you disconnect the battery, it's probably you have a low battery and a bad alternator. Nothing's charging to keep your battery going. But if your vehicle continues to run with the jumper cables pulled off, then your alternator is probably pushing power, which is giving you enough power to charge the battery and run your vehicle. But yeah, awesome jumper cables. Hope this information was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.